Oppenheimer is the newest film from Christopher Nolan. It stars Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer and is about the creation of the very first atomic bomb during World War II. I double featured this today with Barbie. Of course, I had to do the Barbenheimer double feature. I've never done that before at the movies. I will be reviewing Barbie very soon. But as many of you know, I am a Christopher Nolan fanboy. He is one of my favorite directors of all time. There are days, plenty of days in the year where I'm like, yeah, obviously he's my favorite, because just look at his filmography. It's just filled with masterpieces, and Oppenheimer is nothing short of a masterpiece. I had a lot of hype going into this movie. There was a lot that needed to be done for me to be fully satisfied, and I'm happy to say that everything I wanted from this movie I got and more, and that's something that everybody says, but I think the main thing that impressed me about this movie is that majority of it is just people talking, yet I was so riveted. It was just so tight, but there was just so much that was happening, and it's the way that Christopher Nolan tells his story. I mean, he's never been your traditional storyteller when it comes to a film like Memento, which is another masterpiece, but this film has scenes, where you're going forward, but also you have stuff in the future, and just the way they connect it all. It isn't story starts here, story ends here, which a lot of films do, obviously for good reason, and it works for them. But for a film like this, you wouldn't be able to hook the audience if you just went, all right, here's him when he was young, and here's him getting interviewed. It's like stuff like that. It wouldn't work for the movie, so Christopher Nolan finds a brilliant way around it, and everybody's been talking about the visuals and everything, and they are nothing short of breathtaking. But equally, if not better than the visuals, is the sound design. It is so perfect. I know that everybody complained about the Tenet dialogue and everything, but this film, just scene after scene, blew me away, especially for the big scenes of the movie, which, when you watch the movie, you know which ones they are. You can guess which ones they are. It is just shown in such a brilliant way, but it's not just that. There are other scenes where you are inside the head of Oppenheimer, and the way that Cillian Murphy portrays it is amazing. I'll talk about that in a bit. But where all the sound will cut out, or you're hearing something else than what's going on, and that is what really pushed this film to the next level for me. But of course, Cillian Murphy is just, he's camouflaged as this person because obviously this is a true story. As I think all of you know, Cillian Murphy gives the best performance I've seen from him in a movie. I have not seen Peaky Blinders. After watching this, it was already high up on my list. It's at the top now, but holy shit, he transforms into this character. You always hear people say, and I say it too, where it's I didn't even see the actor in this, I just saw the character. But really, I mean it here. There are so many familiar faces in the movie, but when it came to Cillian Murphy, when he was on screen, which was majority of the movie, I really just saw J. Robert Oppenheimer, and God, his line delivery is so perfect, but it's all in his eyes and in his face. I'd say there are so many scenes where he just acts with just this much of his face, and you understand exactly what's going through his head, and that is, of course, accompanied by the wonderful cinematography. Of course, Nolan is pairing with, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's Hoyt Van. I'll put it on the screen so I don't mispronounce the whole thing. And once again, the film is beautiful in the huge moments, but also the tight scenes and the black and white scenes. The subjective versus objective thing with the black and white and the color was told so well, very clear, very obvious when it came to that, and I thought that was a really great idea. But also the supporting cast, I can't talk about this movie without talking about them. Emily Blunt is one of the key roles here. She is fantastic, has so many standout moments, one especially towards the end. But again, a lot of these performances, even though this is such a huge movie, the performances are still subtle, and because they're playing real characters, they're contained, and I thought it was amazing. Robert Downey Jr. is a lot older in this movie and just absolutely killed it. You never know if you can really trust this guy, and as the film progresses, you're kind of back and forth on him. The way he portrayed that is great. Florence Pugh is just incredible here. She is a scene stealer, absolutely, without doubt. And Matt Damon, he shows up He's awesome, as always, and that is no different in this movie. He is one of the key roles, and he kills it. Everybody, I could go through the list. You see some familiar Christopher Nolan faces here, and they all work. Some surprises, too, and some actors that I haven't seen in like 10 to 15 years that come back here, which I thought was really great. But Oppenheimer is just... It's nothing short of mind-blowing, and I don't mean that as a pun or anything like that. It is a heavy movie. There's a lot that is going on, even if it doesn't seem like that, but it works because of how it's told. The script is brilliant. I think it is one of Christopher Nolan's best. I had a lot of expectations going into Oppenheimer, but I absolutely loved it. Oppenheimer is one of the biggest films I've ever seen. Nolan's explosive script kept me hooked for all 3 hours without a minute of hesitation. Cillian Murphy completely transforms into Robert Oppenheimer and provides the best performance I've seen all year, although we cannot forget about the brilliant supporting cast. Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Matt Damon, Benny Safdie, Matthew Modine, you name it, and they killed it in this movie. The visuals are beyond my comprehension, and the sound design is one of the best I have ever heard. I'm going to give Oppenheimer a 5 out of 5. This is one of those movies that you watch and then you sit and you think about it for a week, a month, a year, just something like that. It is crazy. When it comes to Nolan's filmography, it's just another gem, and I mean, every movie he's made is good, even going back to Following, but he's done it again. And I never really doubted the man, but I'm impressed. I'm excited to see what he does next, of course. But if you have seen Oppenheimer, and if you did the Barbenheimer double feature, let me know in the comments down below. I will see you guys next time. Over and out.